It is Sunday morning, and you know what that means. It is time for the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara. Browns, Lions preview, the fantasy football start, sits, answers you need. Get the questions in. Hashtag Ask Andy. And, of course, the parlay party. We're going to build the ultimate betting ticket. Get you ready for NFL Sunday. Let's go.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara, the sickest Cleveland Browns podcast.
Chubb runs, he's to the 10, 15, he's to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. There goes Chubb, he's to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Shabba Lubba Hub.
It's gonna be sick.
Hello, everybody. Back from Cleveland. This time last week was at Johnny's Little Bar downtown, getting ready, having some nice French toast and ham and scrambled eggs, maybe a beer or two, getting ready for the game, hoping that the Browns could beat the Packers, wondering how they were going to do it, and then they did it. They beat what was the best team in the NFL, last-second field goal by Andre Schmidt. I love you, Schmitty. Love you this week. Love you for now. Love you till the next kick, right? And now we got similar situation. The unstoppable Lions. The unbeatable for Dan Campbell biting kneecaps. Scoring 50-something points. Browns can't win. Well, they couldn't win last week either. Can they win this week? We're going to go over that. Also, fantasy football. Like I said, your start, sits, get your questions answered. There are so many injuries. What do? Well, I'm going to help you out in that. Jump in the chat. Of course, right? Subscribe, notifications on, share the link too. Get your buds in there. The more the merrier. I love the live chat. Probably my favorite thing of the show. So jump on in, have a good time. My buddy Griff is going to join me in host of WYC Football Talk in about 5, 6, 7 minutes. We're going to go over our fantasy football start sits, betting tips, the parlay party, and all that good stuff. All right. So make sure you're following. Subscribe on X. Get your fantasy questions in there too. Your Browns thoughts. Who's going to win? Browns, Lions. Follow us at SickPodBrowns, at AndyMC81. Use hashtag Ask Andy. Get those questions in. Instagram and TikTok too, at AndyMC Sports. Remember, after each game, I have my live reaction. If you didn't see last week's one, live from Cleveland, right moments after that kick went through, you got to check that out. That is all over the place. So, feeling Browns fans, I'll tell you how I'm feeling. I'm feeling cautiously optimistic because the Browns always do their best work when they're underdogs, right? When they're countered out. When they're favorites, we've seen it. Even going back to Baker, right? It's like, get full of themselves. And, well, they don't have time to get full of themselves because the Lions are here. The 2-1 Lions. And if you haven't heard all week, the Browns have won only one time in Detroit since 1983. The only victory in Detroit, 1983, which is the last bits of the Cardiac Kids Brian Saint threw 4 touchdowns. Jersey, I got Brian Saint. 1983. That's going back. The Lions beat the Browns in 3 NFL championship games in the 50s. Paul Brown won once, and that was in Cleveland. His arch nemesis. That's when the Browns were cooking. 40s, 50s, 60s. 3 times. Beat Otto Graham 3 times. Browns got one back, but that was in Cleveland. So this has been a house of horrors. Remember years ago, hey, Grant's in the house. How you doing, buddy? Got more albino scouts. There you go. Let's go. Let's do it, baby. Love you, Grant. Grant was there last week at Johnny's Little Bar. Had a great time. We were wondering how the heck we're going to win that game. And they did. That was awesome, man. That was awesome. Always great to see Grant and Flannery's, of course, right? Stouts. Oh, that makes more sense. I was wondering what the scouts meant. I was trying to figure that out on the fly. Oh, man. So the blonde stout that Grant's talking about is at, what was it, Grant? On East 4th, Butcher and the Brew, the East 4th one. Butcher and something, right? Butcher and whatever. Amazing. If you're in East 4th, Butcher, the one that says Butcher and the Brewer, I think. Get the albino stout, the blonde stout. Holy cow. It had a vanilla coffee taste to it. It was sensational. Sadly, they only sell it there. It's like their in-house recipe. Man, that was good. Went to Jolene's, the great country bar. That place is new. That was fantastic. And then we had the Grant met us at Flannery's, and we had the Reuben egg rolls, which was unique. Butcher and Brewer. Yes, thanks, Grant. Yeah. Butcher and Brewer. And we had you'll never go hungry in Cleveland, I'll tell you that. Absolute. That was delicious. Oh, man. Now forgot about that. I want the blonde stout. That albino stout was delicious. If you get a chance, Butcher and Brewer. Marvelous. But now we got this Browns team who, all right, historically tough place to play. There was that Matthew Stafford game where he was injured and it was late and it was a high-scoring 30-something game and the Browns lost. I forget who the quarterback was. That was back 2000-something in the 10s or something. We let that one get away in Detroit. Bottom line is, that means nothing to this team. Remember John Morton, the Detroit offensive coordinator, talking some smack saying this Browns number 1 ranked run defense hasn't seen a rushing game like this, and he's correct. But you don't think Jim Schwartz, who didn't say anything publicly, is using that behind saying, hey, guys, you held the Browns' run defense has been spectacular. 57.3 yards per game is what they're holding to. And these are some studs. Derrick Henry shut him down again. When Grant Delpit was talking smack, shut him down. Grant Delpit having a hell of a season, by the way. Then you get Josh Jacobs, who was popping against Green Bay. Shut him down. Really, outside of the first series in Cincinnati when Chase Brown was running it down your throat, the Browns' run defense has been spectacular. Now, problemo is this duo, coined Sonic and Knuckles in Detroit, is spectacular. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Speed, pass catching, extended run plays, and power. Both have scored, let me see, Lions are ranked 4th in rushing, averaging 149 yards a game. Both running backs have found the end zone twice against the Ravens. The problem is for the Browns, they can do that, but then Jared Goff can also pop it downfield. And the Lions go for it on 4th down the most of any team since 2021. Dan Campbell's just like playing Madden. He's not punting. He's going for it. That could be in their territory, anywhere. You know who the second most 4th down attempts have been since 2021? Cleveland Browns. Kevin Stefanski. Detroit has the highest success rate. Browns have the second highest success rate. So I wonder how much punting we'll see. I wonder how much punting we'll see today. It's going to be very interesting, right? So the issue is you got to focus on, I think Carson Swester is going to be vital today. He is going to be busy. He has been a stud. He is going to be absolutely crucial. And he was a monster against the Packers. Seeing him in person, guys, I'm telling you, man, this guy's big. He's fast. He's agile. Got after Jordan Love, got a sack, got a whole bunch of tackles. He's going to be busy. But then what does that do? Jared Goff is one of the best play action guys in the game because that running game, that's where the Browns' running game needs to get, right? And I think Judkins, I'm not saying he's Nick Chubb. I love Nick Chubb. Got my Nick Chubb rookie card up there. But boy, guys, Nick Chubb, Quinshon Judkins, early Nick Chubb, man. It's a similar pattern. You go for 3, go for 4, go for 5, back to 3, and then bust a couple big ones late and wear you down. That Lions defense is not infallible at all. Now, they shored up the D-line as far as the tackles, but you got Aiden Hutchinson, who's a beast. That's going to be a problem. But you can run on him. The question is going to be, can the Browns suck the Lions down into their game, low scoring, and have success that way instead of having to play catch up and get into a shootout? Because right now, they can't. They can't score more than 16 points. They can't. They haven't done it. Why? Well, that offensive line is in shambles. DeJuan Jones out for the year, as we know. As far as I know, Jack Conklin's going to be a game-time decision. Now, that's key. Conklin needs to play today. Toughen up, Conklin. Take the elbow up. Get a brace on it. Come on. Joe Bitonio played with almost a broken back last week. Get your ass in there. We need you. Get him in at right. Put Cornelius Lucas at left. Have a chip to try to neutralize Aiden Hutchinson as much as possible. Flacco is spooked. He needs time to throw. If you give him time to throw, there's options downfield opening up. I saw Isaiah Bond running wide open last week. I saw Jerry Jeudy over the middle, wide open. Why can't Flacco get the ball? Because he didn't have time. Needs time. And Stefanski needs to scheme more open receivers, not just little flick offs to the side. Open, get Bond in space, little slant. I've been saying it for weeks. Get him in space. A quick option every time for Flacco that can actually gain some yardage. Because if you're going to be down and you're looking up and it's 14-0, it's going to be a bloodbath. You can't have it. What's Grant saying? Our offense needs to be able to eat the clock to keep the defense rested. Absolutely. Absolutely, Grant. That's going to come from Quinshon Judkins. I don't want to see any Dylan Sampson up the middle. We saw that one time last week. That's done. Now, I want to get the ball in Sampson's hands more. Out the side, I think he's terrific in space. Right? But this has got to be a ground and pound. And you can have those long drives. Absolutely. You can have those. You need to keep that offense off the field. But when you have those long drives, you need to score touchdowns. Okay? You need to score touchdowns. Now, we love Andre Schmidt. 55-yarder last week. Woo! Love you, Schmitty. Never doubted you, buddy. Love you till the next one, right? Like, well, he needs to make his kicks. The Browns need to be scoring touchdowns. And the problem is we have to hope that the smarts of Kevin Stefanski has outlined a way after 3 games to do that and game plan for that. Because if not, it's going to get ugly. And then the Lions are going to just wear this defense down. Rick, T-Wolf in the house. How's it going, Rick? Thunderwolf, my guy. Only for a few minutes. Got to be somewhere this morning. Great win last week. Hell yeah. Excellent defensive effort. Go Browns. All right. Love you, Rick. Hey, if you got any fantasy football questions or betting, you got any big bets this week? We're going to be doing the parlay party. Hit me up, man. Let me know. If you got any big bets, we're going to do the parlay party. Got the best bets coming up. What are the predictions? I want predictions for the Browns game, and then we'll get into some fantasy football talk. Grant, what do you got? Browns, Lions. Okay, we're going to bring on Griff in a moment. Browns, Lions, prediction. Also, shout out to Kelly and Donnie. Got me the new Browns shirt, little Cleveland football shirt last week. My Cleveland fam. Absolutely love them. Got a birthday win finally for Kelly. For this Browns game, guys, I'm not confident they can score a lot of points, but I am confident that the defense can hold. And if you do a similar strategy, like with the Packers last week, but have some more success offensively, I think the Browns could win this game and upset again. Lions are thought to be the best. So are the Packers. So I think the Browns can win this damn game. But I don't think they're going to be able to put 31. Okay? They're going to have to bust into the 20 mark. They're just going to have to. I think 21-17 Browns. Okay? 21-17 Browns. That is my prediction. I think they can do it with a Judkins combo and the passing game being opened up a little bit with a bit more time and better strategy from Stefanski for Flacco. And Flacco getting that confidence going. Of course, the defense having to play at the highest of levels for the whole game. So let me know your Browns prediction. Fantasy football questions, you got them? Get them into me. Hashtag Ask Andy. See what we got. And we're going to be, let me just check here. There we go. Oh, we got our guy, Michael Leach, my old buddy from Sportsnet, watching along from Windsor. What's Grant saying? I just don't have a great feeling. I think it's going to stay close through 3 quarters, 24-14 Lions. Look, I can't argue with that because the Browns have done nothing to prove that they can hit 20 points yet, right? Now, if you hold that team to 24 points, that is a success for the defense, a big success for the defense for this Browns team. And it's up to the offense to go. And you don't want this defense getting frustrated. They're doing the work. Now, we saw last Grant Delpit with an interception, right? Special teams coming through, blocked field goal, and the big kick. This needs to be a 3-phase win. You need the defense to keep it close. You need the offense to try to get some sort of early lead and force a turnover, and then capitalize on that turnover with touchdowns. And special teams to do something, at the very least, make their kicks and stop the other team from big return. Need to do it. Randy, how's it going, buddy? There he goes. Good stuff, Randy. Who do you think? Browns, Lions today. You know what? Let's bring him in 2. We'll talk some fantasy. We'll talk some big best bets, some parlay. Bordignon of WIC Football Talk. Griff, how's it going, brother?
Oh, doing good, doing good. It's a Sunday. There's already football on, so you know what? Hey, more football. It's like they say in Seinfeld: more anything, more everything. More football, more football.
I like it. And let's see what's the score there. I think the Steelers had a
14-3.
Ooh,
Pittsburgh.
Ugh. Yeah. Look, anyone who was like Carson Wentz can go. I told everyone the obvious. It's like, look at the score last week. The defense got 2 defensive touchdowns. Like, Griff, Carson Wentz, good Lord.
It's kind of like that. You think it's good. I always knew this was going to happen, and I was on Minnesota today because the line went in their favor. But we all know this with Carson, where he's going to have like a couple games where it's like, "Ooh, look at him," and then there's a game where he just falls off a cliff, and then McCarthy's right back in there once he's healthy.
Yes, exactly. And McCarthy is still an unproven commodity.
Yeah.
Right. So when we're looking fantasy-wise, it's a scary time to be an owner for fantasy football of Minnesota Vikings, unless that person is Jordan Mason, because heck yeah.
I'll still take Justin. I'll still take Jefferson too. That's just like Jefferson's like one of those like S tier. You can't not go wrong with Justin Jefferson for fantasy football.
Yeah. It's just different levels.
Yep.
He'll get you there, but boy, you just think like those Kirk Cousins days. Oh, right?
Yeah.
Like who thought we'd be pining for Kirk Cousins?
It still could happen. But then again, Atlanta, that's not looking pretty either. He had to come in relief last week because Michael Penix,
How did you lose? Griff, I saw it and I still don't know how it happened. Mm-hmm. How do you lose 30-0 to the Carolina Panthers? I don't understand.
Well, you know this. Divisional games are always like weird, goofy toss-ups.
Yeah.
You know,
but
it's
30-0.
Atlanta's basically doing, and then after the game, Atlanta fired their wide receiver coach. Former quarterback great TJ Yates was their pass game coordinator, is now their receivers coach. But I have a fun term for that. It's called shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic. You know, I think Atlanta's one of those like low key teams that no one really talks about, to where if things don't go right there is going to be people losing jobs come, Black Monday. They're one of those teams where it's like, you always think like, is this they're that team, is this the year? Is Atlanta going to make the jump? But we all forget the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are right there too. But to your point, going back to 30-0. And I also hope this for today too, as someone who's playing the Carolina Panthers, as my team is. I think Carolina's just going to have those like games every once in a while where you're like, are the Panthers good, or is it just they get one on each other? NFC, I'll say this too. NFC South football is like the weirdest, most obscure thing, where it's like you'll have one game where it could be like 35-33, or you could have this like 30-0 just belting.
And you're like, what is happening? NFC West too is weird when they go ahead, especially like Cardinals, Seahawks type of game. Randy's there. Randy's in the chat, says the dream team of podcasting is on now. You damn right, Randy. Yeah, brother. All right, we're cooking, baby. Does the Bucks upset? Do the Bucks upset the Eagles today? Is Randy's question. I like that question. Baker is absolutely cooking. Each game, though, Griff, all 3 games have been fourth quarter drives for Baker to win. I think this is going to be a close game, but at some point, especially with that bit of a shaky offensive line and the Eagles rolling, I think the Eagles take it. Eagles favored 3.5. I could see this one coming down to a field goal, though. It's one head-to-head I wouldn't really want to bet on. More maybe props in between, but this is going to be close. I think Eagles. What do you think?
I'll be honest with you. I really like the Buccaneers in this one. I think I called the Buccaneers my dark horse Super Bowl team from the NFC going into the year, because they quietly have all the pieces. They also quietly have had, if you think about their transition post Tom Brady, like how New England, it's been completely different. We've had 2 really bad years. Tampa's just said, hey, we're going to keep rolling. Mike Evans is out, but guess what? I think Chris Godwin's coming back. The inactives are doing about an hour. And I know you're an Ohio State fan, but there's a kid named Emeka Ibuka.
Dude, what a fantasy stud. And he went under the radar. I was telling people in fantasy drafts, get your shares of him, because he was being underrated because of how great Jeremiah Smith was at Ohio State.
Yep.
It was kind of like, and the other guy. Well, the other guy's really good, and he's becoming a favorite of Baker. And right now, last I checked on the DraftKings Sportsbook, he was the leader in the clubhouse for Rookie of the Year. You believe that?
I honestly can. Like, Tampa Bay's just had a spoil of riches at wide receiver. Like, Mike Evans is going to Canton one day. Chris Godwin's been a solid receiver for them. I don't know if he has the Canton resume just yet, but Mike Evans definitely does. 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
If you also look at Mike Evans, too, he's done it with some very obscure quarterbacks. He's done it with Tom Brady and Baker Mayfield. He's also done it with Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, too. So you got some names in there. But the big thing going back just with Emeka Egbuka is just we knew going into the year he was capable of it. Like I saw Tampa draft him. I'm like, I knew Godwin had a dislocated ankle, but I was shocked that they drafted him. But at the same time, too, they're looking at their succession plan going forward. Yeah. That's the thing that you got to be as an NFL GM, thinking going forward. That's why I always was a fan of what Cleveland did, because you've now got a dog at defensive tackle in Mason Graham, where I look at that and I applauded Andrew Berry saying, hey, not to say 2025 is a write-off year. He's looking at 26 and beyond.
And Carson Schwarzenegger at linebacker. Stud.
Exactly. You're looking to build those foundational pieces on defense to where then you can then transition, figure out whatever's going on offensively, and then you have that team going forward. Because with your division, Baltimore's Baltimore, but there's a lot of talk now. Like, you look, hey, I know they got the one over you week 2, but then week 3, Detroit comes in there and kind of embarrasses them to where, everyone's, it's the same thing, recycled. Is John Harbaugh enough? Lamar's, I don't know if you've seen it too, but Lamar's like whole franchise tag stuff for 2028 could be like an astronomically high number. And then you have Cincinnati to where it's, hey, Joe Burrow's not staying healthy. Turf toe sounds so cute and like, it sounds like a cute cuddly term, but in reality, like after seeing Jason Kelsey explain it on New Heights, I'm like, I don't ever want to suffer that injury.
No, ligament damage, like that's the real deal, right? And you mentioned the Ravens, they're taking on the Chiefs today. One of these teams is going to be 1-3, Griff. One of these teams is going to be 1-3.
I'll be honest with you. I think this is more of a must-win for the Chiefs because if the Chiefs go to 1-3, think about it. Chargers already have 3 divisional wins.
Yeah.
Broncos are teetering, but I still have faith in them to turn it be competent. And then the Raiders are going to be a tough out no matter who they play. The Raiders are going to they're going to be that team, like, hey, it's like the Dan Campbell saying, we're going to get some on you, but at the same time, too, we're not going to go down without a fight. So I think for this game, I've been on Kansas City because I think this is a definite must-win for them, and also, too, a show-me-something game because Tyquan Thornton's looked good. They don't have a running game. When your quarterback's your leading rusher, that's a red flag in football.
No kidding.
But also, too, you don't have a tight end right now. I'm sorry, 87, he does not.
He's retired in his mind.
I told you last year, do not draft Travis Kelce, and I stuck by that model last year. He still had a solid year, but for fantasy-wise, I think he had 3 touchdowns. This year he's got 1, but then there were some plays last week where I'm just like, it's not that he's like retired in his mind. He just doesn't look interested. No,
he's wearing cement shoes. Like can you blame him? The guy's going to the Hall of Fame. He's won multiple Super Bowls. He's super rich. He's got a super successful podcast to do after he's retired. And he's marrying the most famous person in the world. Why would I want to be taking hits on a football field? I wouldn't.
He basically has the photos going around of like him and his ex versus like him and like with Taylor, and everyone's like, oh, why is he like with her and all this stuff? And basically it comes down to this. Her retirement plan is banking on Travis. Travis can just retire now and do whatever he wants because his soon-to-be wife has an unlimited amount of money.
Yes. And so does he to a degree, right? Like it's wild. We got Grant saying Eagles in this game. He's picking Eagles over the Bucks. This way of winning doesn't last. I love Baker, but they have to win early. That's what I'm thinking, Grant. I think, and not to say the Buccaneers, I think they can be absolute dark horse Super Bowl contenders, NFC Championship contenders. But I just think today it's like,
Todd Bowles knows how to defend the tush push. I'm going to say that right now. Last year,
okay,
the exact same game. And also, here's the other thing too. It's going to be sweltering hot in Tampa today. Like I'm pretty sure. I'm going to Google it right now, but I remember hearing like it's going to be.
Let me see what the temp is here. I'm on ESPN. Where are we, Tampa? 1 o'clock game. 90 degrees.
Yep.
And that's before humidity.
Yep.
That's going to be
29
nasty
for us Canadian boys, Andy.
Boy, that's right.
But still, though, like the fact that's going, like the like I know everyone likes to look at Miami as like, humidity. Same thing happens in Jacksonville. Same thing happens in Tampa Bay.
Sure. Miami, yep.
Plus 2, Philadelphia. They always been saying they've been finding ways to get wins the first few weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think it hurts them to, get a loss where you kind of get that reality check. And plus 2, and then plus 2, there's all the stuff with the tush push, which I feel like eventually they're going to find an out to get it banned for 2026.
I agree.
I think it's just the player safety thing I never bought into, but it's more or less going to be the officials can't officiate it properly.
Yeah. Is it a penalty? Is it not? It's when you're getting into like offside stuff. Randy also saying, ooh, I like this question, Griff. And let's put a fantasy spin on this because you talk Chargers.
Yep.
How do you think Jackson Dart does today against the Chargers? Randy asks. I'll say this. I want 0 Giants outside of Malik Neighbors, because you have to have Malik Neighbors in there, in my fantasy lineup. I think this is a absolute smash fest. I don't know why you wouldn't put Jameis Winston in this game and put Jackson Dart in a better position with the Saints next week. I have no idea why you wouldn't just pop Jameis in for one and make that transition. This, I just see the Chargers stomping the Giants today.
I'm in the same boat. The Giants have some pieces. It's weird. Their defense is more competent now. They have a really good front four. The offensive line is so dependent on Andrew Thomas that when Andrew Thomas is hurt, that team just is putrid. I get starting Dart, though, because you need to give the fan base something to rally behind. You need to give them something to believe in. It's kind of like where I was last. Jameis can
make him have fun. Like last year, Jameis would come in for some fun quotes and razz you up for one game. That's fun. And then go to Dart. You're putting this guy out to slaughter here. The Chargers are cooking.
And also, too, when there's jobs on the line here, you can't just let your first-round rookie sit. Like last year, Kevin Stefanski was coming off a Coach of the Year win. You're not going to fire him that quickly.
No.
The Giants are coming off of one really good season followed by 2 years of really bad football.
Yeah.
You need to see something, because here's the other thing, too. If Dart's bad and you go to Winston, that's basically saying you're throwing your job away and we failed drafting Dart. So you have to throw Dart in to see what you have. I still think that they wanted to wait till next week when they go to New Orleans to play the Saints, which that's a spread I want to talk to you and see what the chat thinks about with their game. But with this game here, the Chargers are one of the most just underappreciated defenses in all of football. Jesse Minter, I know he's from the school up north, as you like to call it. I think he's going to be in consideration for NFL coaching eventually because, look, he spent time with John Harbaugh. He spent time with Jim Harbaugh. He's one of those guys that, look, he's got that defense clicking. They've got some dogs on the defense there. And then with the Chargers, we'll see what Omari and Hampton could be now that Najee Harris is done.
Oh, please. I got 4. Griff, I got 4 shares out of my 5 teams with Omari and Hampton. I'm dying. And I got 3 out of 5 with Ashton Giente. I went double rookies. I went all in on double rookies, and it's biting me in the butt. But, Hampton, I think, is the real deal. Fantasy-wise, you're starting to Hampton. Johnston, you're starting. You got to bench McConkey for now if you have a choice, and go over with Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's been.
If you could pick him up in the flex, go right ahead.
Yeah,
who would have thought that? Because obviously Keenan Allen left the Chargers to go to the Bears last year. The Bears last year they Bearsed it up.
Terrible.
But who would have thought that him coming back to LA at his age and just with his injury history, he would have this great resurgence?
Yeah.
And also too, I've been a fan of this guy since he came out because there was so much doubt and negativity around him. I'm not saying he's MVP, but I think we're finally getting the Justin Herbert that people have been clamoring for years.
Yes.
He's got that swagger in his step. He's apparently dating a famous singer, not as like Taylor Swift, her name is Madison Beer, but everyone sees that and is like, Justin's got this new swagger, this new kind of FU attitude. He's got this pep in his step where it's like, oh, this is a Jim Harbaugh bred quarterback, a quarterback Jim Harbaugh has never really had in the NFL. I know he's had Kaepernick. I know he's had Alex Smith, but those guys never really had that, pompous swagger to them.
Kaepernick could run, couldn't throw. Smith could throw, couldn't really run.
Yeah.
And Herbert, we've been away because he's kind of like, I've always considered him a little bit like a Josh Allen light, right? He can run, he can throw, but didn't really have the pieces around. And I thought this year with Harbaugh was going to be more run heavy. That's why I was so heavy on Hampton. But Herbert looks like an MVP candidate. And I'll tell you, Griff, I got this little fella here who is hoping, praying, begging that Justin Herbert's an MVP because I'm popping that sucker up on eBay. 54 of 60, 3-color jersey patch, Justin Herbert autographed rookie card. Please, no one is rooting for Justin Herbert to do well more than this guy.
But when I say the swagger comments, I mean more or less he's just got that that pep in his step kind of thing. And I'm not saying Kaepernick never had that, but Kaepernick, he had the couple of years, and then obviously there's a lot that's off field that I don't want to get into, but I just think stuff happened there. But no, I'm heavy on the Chargers, also -6.5. I think last week too we saw Dart's basically. I think Dart can show flashes, but it's kind of and I'm going to tie this back to my team. Drake May last year started against the Houston Texans. That defense got to him because they're like, hey, we can take advantage of a rookie. There's no film on him. So and also too with the Giants this year, their schedule is it's a gauntlet. It's not fun when you look at it. It's one of those years that it's going to be ugly and it's not going to be ugly. That's going to be ugly, excuse me. And then going back to the blocked field goal thing from Randy, I would set the line at like 1.5. I don't think there's going to be too many, just because you know how like with fantasy football, everyone's looking for that next stud. That's
trend,
like, the trend. It's like this week, everyone's gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be blocked field goals. Blocked field goals don't always come and go as you might think. But they kind of
so tough to predict.
Yes,
they're totally like the Browns last week. We saw it. Browns special teams have been putrid all year, and they block one. with Shelby Harris, like, holy cow, yes. I want to get to this matchup, Commanders Falcons. Okay, and we talked about how the Falcons got their butt kicked. Commanders, and I picked them up off of waivers in our WYC Football Talk League.
Yep.
In our 2 QB league for my super flex. I got me a little Marcus Mariota. Okay, against the Falcons. Marcus Mariota right now, folks. If you are suffering from Joe Burrow, you got Jake Browning, and you don't want to go that way. If you didn't want to go Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota got you over 20 fantasy points last week. Ran in a touchdown. Ran 6 times, 207 yards. Didn't turn the ball over. In Atlanta, that's a team that can be got. And I think it wouldn't be the worst thing for DFS as well. If you're looking for a flex and you're like, who do I get? Zach Ertz with Terry McLaurin out. Everyone's got Debo. Zach Ertz here, Griff, is being underappreciated with really no options outside of Debo Samuel. I think Zach Ertz could have a big day. I think he's in tight end 1 territory for this week.
So the opening line for this game was originally 2.5 for Washington, but once Jaden Daniels was ruled out, I snagged it at plus 2.5. And one other thing I want to say quickly too, I love the Tampa spread because it's 3.5. If it was 2.5, I'd probably go Eagles, but that 3.5, you get the push with a potential field goal, I would go Bucks. But for this game here, I would rather lose money betting against the Falcons than bet money winning, like betting on the Falcons. I just think,
how do you do it?
Because even I know they've got the pieces. Bijan Robinson looks awesome on my name in that league at Bed Bath and Bijan. But the thing I look at with Atlanta is just, it's like that same thing. It's kind of like that thing you see in like a movie example. The girl you think that's going to like you, and oh, this is it. This is it. She's going to ask me out. I'm going to ask her out. And every time you go to do it, you get shot down. And with the Atlanta Falcons, whenever you want to believe in them, whenever you think they have an easy winnable game, they don't, because the other thing with him too is, like I said, Michael Penix looked terrible last week. There was just some really weird throws. There was some like very questionable play from him. So if I'm Atlanta right now, like I said, that's why I said the shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic metaphor. Meanwhile, you have Washington, who looks really good. You have a Washington team that, like, I know everyone's kind of saying the Jaden Daniels sophomore slump, yada, yada, yada. I know they went to Green Bay and they got their doors blown in, but this is a team that's going to compete with anyone. I don't know necessarily if they're going to go on the same magical run as last year and win 12 games, but they're definitely going to be a team, at least it's going to be in the playoff mix come November, December.
Yeah. And how are the Falcons 1.5-point favorites I'm seeing now?
Because of the injury. The books are trying to make you think that Marcus Mariota can't do it twice.
Can't do it. Well,
they're banking on a Michael Penix bounce back game.
I don't see that. I'm pulling up my DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Let's get to our parlay party. We'll mix in fantasy along the way. Okay, we're gonna build our ultimate ticket. Let me log back in. Hey, all these things always say, "Are you fit to play?" Who says no? Have you ever logged in, Griffin? You're gonna be like, you know what? No, I'm not.
No, it's liability. I understand why they have to do it, but at the same time, too, they basically do it to say, like, hey, we told them.
Tried. We tried.
We warned you.
House. Yeah. I'm looking at. Let me see what the straight money line plus 124 Commanders against the. Give me that all freaking day.
Yep.
Let's lock that in. That's a lock of the day, man. Eagles, Bucks. Oh, you know what? We're gonna be building a big one. I like the separate think of that. I want to stay away from that one, Griff, because I just think it's too close.
I have a play in that game I love.
What do you like?
So I got it at 44.5, but I like the over.
Oh.
You're literally asking the teams to score what? 24, like this game could easily be 27-24, like 28-24, something of that, and like that nature. You're asking both teams to score 3 touchdowns, Yeah. You're asking
44.5.
You're asking 3 really good teams. You're asking 2 really good offenses. Hey, score 3 touchdowns, and then maybe in one of you get me a field goal. That's all you're asking.
Yeah. Grant wrote in, the Vikings are pooping the bed Yes, they are, as expected. Carson Wentz, 1 interception. That's more like it. I just need Jordan Macy. He's got 9 carries, 28 yards. I need
Aaron Rodgers is balling out.
And a catch.
But here's the thing, though. Carson Wentz, though, 11 for 12. So his only non-completion was the interception.
What's the interception?
But he's 93 yards versus 152.
He's toast. He is toast.
Oh, DK Metcalf, 4 receptions, 4 targets, 122 yards, 30.5 average, and a tutty.
An 80 for long. God. Freaking Steelers. All right, let's get away from that one. Next one. Saints-Bills. The Bills money line, minus 1,400. Good God. 14.5 points. You know it's always dangerous to take double-digit spreads, but Griff, it's in Buffalo.
The thing is, too, this is because think about it too. Buffalo played with their food last week. You know, you have kids. You know, kids sometimes they play with their food. You get burnt. You tell them not to do it. Buffalo played with their food against Miami. Miami kind of kept it close.
Yes, they did.
And I'm sorry, but when you let Sam Darnold put 38 on you going into half, what do you think Josh Allen's going to do? I think honestly, like I can't see a world where this is a backdoor. I can see the Bills doing a late backdoor. I can see this also being like, you know, 28-10, 28-7, like 31 to like something like that, because the Saints are the team that they just need to, you know, they say wander the wilderness. They need to do that. They're basically coming out of their last era of football, which was great. They got a Super Bowl. They were a very consistent team throughout the 2010s.
A long time ago now.
They've got some soul searching to do. You know, their old guys are getting up there in age. They got some young guys that need time to develop. They basically are just, they're that team that's like, hey, I think eventually they can turn it around, but not for a few years.
Yeah.
And you have a Buffalo team here too, who's just, it's just not funny. And also too, I want Buffalo fat and happy before we go in there next week, Sunday Night Football, you know, Patriots, Bills. Maybe get an upset,
nice and comfortable.
But
you know what
I love the spread. I love the Bills spread, but I would not put it in a parlay ticket. I took it in my spread pool that I'm in though.
Right. Yeah, we'll stay away from that one. And I'm saying probably more DFS, desperation super flex. I think from strictly garbage time, Spencer Rattler popped once this year against San Francisco with 3 touchdowns. I think pure garbage. If you need and the guys you want, Geno Smith's not there. You know, Marcus Mariota's not there, whatever. Spencer Rattler, sneaky super flex play, garbage time. And you won't see a payoff till like 2 minutes left in the fourth. I'm just saying that might be something to consider if you're desperate for your fantasy team. Browns, Lions. I think Browns are covering that 9.5, brother. This defense is good.
So I'm going to be honest with you. Last week, my survival pick was Buffalo against Miami. I almost took Green Bay, but then I remembered who was at the game, and I'm like, I'm not doing that, and I'm not getting burned that way. And I love coming on your show. You are a great guy. Part of me just buys into what I saw Detroit do to Baltimore last week, and I think that they're like, you know how week 1 everyone's like, oh, the sky's falling, oh, the sky's this and this. I hope I'm wrong, but this seems like a Detroit team who they're being doubted. It's like it's weird. They're 2-1. Not that I'm saying doubted in the way, you know, where it was like, oh, you know, you can't change coordinators and all this stuff. You still got Dan Campbell and you still got the same plethora of talent. My big question for this game, and this is how I think Cleveland can keep it close. How does Cleveland and Myles Garrett and Mason Graham play against that Detroit O-line? I know Penei Sewell is one of the best right tackles in football. You got Graham Glasgow at center. Tate Rutledge, there's a couple other young guys on that line. If Myles Garrett can have his way with that line, maybe register sack and a half, maybe even 2 sacks, that's my key for Cleveland keeping it close. But because of everything,
stop that run. Yeah, Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to stop the run game. That's the key. I still like Detroit in this one, though. I still do, just because I think at the end of the day, Detroit's that team that, like, look, they're not to mess with. They're going to be a top 3 team in the NFC. And this is we'll see what happens. But I just think too, as well, Cleveland's offense has to, you know, keep it, just not make dumb plays, not do bad decisions.
And score points. They can't hit 20 points, Griff.
That's
what's maddening.
Yeah. Also, what's the over for that game?
44.5, I think, under.
Yeah, I want to say that, but like Cleveland, I don't think the game against Baltimore, and that's because Baltimore scored, what was it, 41? That's the only game that's hit over for Cleveland so far this year.
And that was a late collapse. In the chat, Michael Leach, my guy from Sportsnet, says Browns will cover Defense will keep it close. That's right, Mike. That's right. And guess what? Last week, this time, Griff, everyone was crowning the Green Bay Packers. Can't be beat, unstoppable. They're doing the same thing for the Lions, and the Browns are going to do it again. It's on the road, a place they've only won. I don't know if you heard off the top. The Browns have only won one time in Detroit. One in their history. They've been around since 1946. Once. And that was in 1983. So I think it is going to be close. Grant got a couple wide receiver questions for fantasy. Cortland Sutton or Tet McMillan? I'm going Sutton all day here, Griff. I think Sutton is a true ace. McMillan, injured but coming back. I'll put my faith in a bounce back for Denver and Sutton over McMillan on a short week due to injury.
Here's the other thing, too. New England's getting their weapon X back at cornerback, number 0, Christian Gonzalez. First game of the year, he's going to play. Okay. And that man puts people in hell. I know Tetz looked really good for the first 2 games of the season, but injury on top of that. Yeah, I got Cortland Sutton, especially too against the Cincinnati secondary that's really not off to a blazing start.
No, that defense is maybe a little better than we thought, but we had pretty low expectations. So,
I mean, you can't put lipstick on a pig and still not to look like a pig.
Oh, Grant said Rodgers might be faster than Flacco. Oh gosh. Well, Grant, I don't think that's saying much, but you might be right. They're both the 2 old men. They'll play in a couple weeks. Grant saying blocked field goal for Viking. Oh,
Isaiah Rodgers again.
Oh, okay. So we said it at 1.5, so we got 1. That's for
Minnesota may also have one of the best play-by-play radio voices in the league, and Paul Allen. Like watching his clips last week from the Rodgers interceptions, like every home radio people, like it's better to listen to because there's so much more passion into the team.
Yeah.
But Paul Allen's just one of those like very eccentric, like one of a kind people for that for stuff like that. And obviously for you, this is like film study because you got to get ready for the Vikings next week.
That's right, going overseas. Let's get back to the ticket, the parlay party. Yeah. Titans, Texans, gross. I don't like any of it. The Texans are an abomination. I don't know why they can't score. The defense was, and nothing is working. The Titans have been relatively consistent while losing. Like they're very boring.
Yeah.
They're a very boring team. There's no punch. There's no push. 7.5 for the Texans seems generous, Griff.
Divisional games. I have a golden rule at a friend of Randy's and I's. His name's Big Rat 310. Him and I swear by. If a divisional game is 7 points or more, you always take the dog. Divisional games are very like wish-wash in that sense.
Yep.
Titans cover, Texans win. Because here's the thing. If the Titans don't show fight, there is a good chance that Brian Callahan's key card does not work tomorrow morning.
Right. And you want to keep progression with Cam Ward. This Chargers-Giants game I think is interesting because I think we can go a couple ways. Chargers win -290. That's not too fun. But also to win by the spread's only 6.5. Man, I think the Chargers win by a tutty at least. I think we double up on that one.
Yeah, I like the -6.5. I think it's a good play. It's a fun play. It's one of those like you take it, you don't think about it. And also right now too, the Vikings are trying to do something in a little 2-minute drill. I got my little score app going.
They're trying to make something happen.
Yeah, they're kind of like they're on their 34 right now. It's 2nd and 10 with 1:28 to go.
Boy, well, we'll Carson Wentz under pressure. Not great. Not a great combo.
Nope.
Let's roll through a couple more. Panthers, your Patriots. You like this? We talked a little bit about it. How are we betting it though? 5.5 point favorite to your home Patriots.
The 5.5 points kind of scares me just because Carolina is such an unpredictable team. You don't know what you're going to get from them. But with New England, they need a few things. One, they need a good game from Drake May. They need a good game from the running game because the running game was not fun last week with the fumbles. They also need a win at home. Somewhere they've only won 3 games over the last 2 years. Home has not been kind to Gillette Stadium's not been kind to the Patriots. But the Panthers have only won twice away from Charlotte over the last couple of years. So I would just stick to the easy bet, taking the Patriots straight up on the money line. I wouldn't overthink it. That's what I would do. I just think over-unders with them is very weird where like last week I thought it was going to hit because it was only like low 40s and they didn't go. And then 2 weeks ago in Miami, they scored 33 points, something that they haven't done in Miami in a very long time. But with this game, just play it safe. take the safe bet, do the money line. I do think the Patriots at the end of the day are the better team and they'll get the win because I think everyone's going to be relying, as I'm pretty sure, because I can't see lightning striking twice the way it did for the Panthers unless Bryce Young goes goofy and like Tet or Chuba Hubbard pop off, but like I can't see that happening.
No. We got Colts, Rams. This game to bet on, I want to watch it because I think it's going to be a very interesting game. Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, they call him now, right? In Indianapolis. You got the Rams 3.5-point home favorites. Over under set at 49.5. Like, Griff, at some point, we think we know anyway, Daniel Jones is going to go pumpkin. I don't know if that's today, but the Rams have not been overwhelming. I kind of want to stay away. Like, we're getting plus money, plus 156. But if we're talking parlay party ultimate betting ticket, I don't know if I want to put my ticket resting on this game.
I said this on my show this week. This is a big show me something game for Daniel Jones because if you think about who they've beaten, they beat a Miami Dolphins team, which I don't think is good. They beat the Broncos on a last-second field goal, which was because of a weird leveraging call. And then they beat the Titans. The only thing about the Colts that I'm really enamored with and I think is consistent is the play of Jonathan Taylor because I feel like not that he's disrespected fantasy-wise, but every time his stock goes up and up. And also, like Grant said, Wentz is in the red zone right now for the Vikings. It is 24 seconds, 2nd and 12 from the Pittsburgh 15.
Ooh, come on, Wency. Look, if they can beat the Steelers, that would be sensational. I just don't see it happen.
16 for 18 for 154 yards through half, and Justin Jefferson's almost at 100 yards receiving on the day. Okay. But no, with this game right here, this is a show me something game for Daniel Jones. Show me how you do against an elite team. Show me how you do against a team who's expected to do well.
Win their division.
I like the Rams in this one. I just think that at the end of the day, the Rams are the better team. I don't think Jones is going to go back to full pumpkin because for the first time, he actually has,
right.
Not just impressed. Credible. He doesn't just have credible coaching, but he also has. We're reminding ourselves of, I think, also the blunder that was Anthony Richardson being drafted. But the other thing we're being reminded of with this Colts team and Daniel Jones' resurgence is he was a top 10 pick for a reason. It's the Baker experiment. It's the Sam Darnold experiment, where it's like, oh, these guys, they did bust out. Obviously, Josh Rosen's a rare case where it just didn't work.
Yeah, at all.
But, hey, he's turning his life around. I'm actually kind of happy to see that. He's going to business school, learning stuff. But with Daniel Jones, they're going to be consistent, but I need to see them be competitive against a good team. Right. I need to see them, like go into LA and not throw a goofy interception. I need to see Daniel go into there and, make plays and keep the game close. You know how they say there's no moral victories in football?
Right.
This is the kind of game where I think a moral victory can really help the Colts because if you have a good showing on a stage like this, obviously 420, you're in the 4 o'clock window. Yeah. You basically buy that stock to where it's like, oh, these guys can hang with anyone. And for a Colts team this year that I dogged on going into the season, I thought they're going to be terrible. I thought Shane Steichen was going to be fired. Chris Ballard still, I think, is one of the most overrated GMs in the NFL. This is a big show-me-something game, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to go Rams. But if the Colts can keep it within a touchdown, that's a win for them.
Yeah. Grant saying 3 Euro games suck for field conditions. Yeah, I'm kind of over the early European game. Browns, of course, early start next week against Minnesota.
I was going to ask you, what time are you doing your show for that one?
I was thinking I'm going to I think what we're going to do is do a 9 a.m. start.
Mm-hmm.
Browns preview, do 9 to 9:30, a little shorter one, sort of hit it, get the preview, get some fantasy stuff, and then go watch the ball, have some eggs and a beer or something. Maybe Bailey's in the coffee. Maybe that's better.
Maybe a little English breakfast there, little beans and toast.
There you go. I like it. Little English breakfast. We can do that. So I think 9 a.m. Eastern next week, guys, just as a heads up, we'll pop on. Randy's saying Patriots should beat the Panthers today, right? I think so, Randy. I think so. We took them straight up.
If the Patriots want to be taken as a serious team, they win today. That's
you can't be messing around with that. Okay, let's go through a couple before we wrap up here. Jags, 49ers, no Bosa for the 49ers. Injuries all over, but Brock Purdy is back. Give me the 49ers at home. Come on.
49ers.
49ers.
Jacksonville's a weird team. Like they're gonna be okay, but like San Francisco, without Nick Bosa, Robert Saleh as a defensive coordinator, I think we're reminding ourselves how good of a defensive coordinator he was before he took the Jets job. This is a revitalized 49ers team. The 49ers, too, even last week, they found a way. They were great last week. Found a way.
Yeah.
Arizona still got the cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they had Vegas in their back pocket. This is the same thing. It's 3.5 points. Although Trevor Lawrence did win a national championship in Levi Stadium in 2019 when Clemson mollywopped Alabama. But I still like the 49ers in this game. Ricky Pearsall is a guy I'm really happy he's doing really well because of how, last year I was like, oh, this, because obviously
banged up though.
Yeah, banged up, but he's been consistent.
Yeah, he has.
I think we get a CMC game today.
Ooh, little CMC pop.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, he'll tweak something and warm up and be. Always watch the pregame for 49ers. You never know who the heck's going to be out of there. Ravens Chiefs. Are we putting? I don't know if I want to put this game on our ultimate ticket here, Griff.
I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm avoiding this one. This is one of those games. Yeah. I think
separate
the Chiefs,
from our big ticket. Separate.
This is one of those games where, as a football fan, I just want to sit back, have a beer, and watch this one. I don't want to have any money on it. I don't want to have any involvement with it. I just want to watch it because I got something cooked up for Sunday Night Football that I'm very excited about, which I'll be posting a video after this. But with this game here, Kansas, this is a must win for the Chiefs. If the Chiefs lose this game, that narrative of them just being able to are they done? But because here's the other thing too. Chris Jones was a game time decision because he had to go back home because he had
funeral. He's going to play apparently.
He's going to play. But you also have to look at this from the lens of last week. Hey, you won, but you beat the Giants. Congratulations. Do you want a cookie?
Yeah.
But you also have a pissed off Ravens team coming in who's looking to bounce back after a terrible loss to the Lions, which I know you're probably smiling about.
Yeah.
And the same thing for them too. They want to walk into Arrowhead and show, because look, if the Ravens lose this game as well, and if they lose close, it's one thing. If they lose by a touchdown or more, for one, I always envision you when you call them those pesky rap birds. But the thing I look at with Baltimore is your 3 losses are the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs. That's a red flag for January.
Sure is.
This game also could have conference seeding on the line. This game could have conference seeding for the playoffs. It's like, they were saying with Bills and Ravens week 1, it's like, hey, the winner could very well be hosting the rematch in January. It's the same thing for today.
Yeah.
Because I still think both these teams win the division unless the Chiefs do lose today and do fall to 1-3. But for the sake of winning the division and potentially getting, I don't think the 1 seed. I think Buffalo's probably going to get that. For getting the 2 or 3, because the 4 is obviously the honorary AFC South champions position.
Yeah. This
game is important to be determining, hey, are you going on the road divisional weekend or are you playing at home divisional weekend? But
difference.
I still, when Patrick Mahomes is back against the wall, it's a very dangerous thing. And that's all I got to say.
Does he have to throw? Who does he have to throw to? Let's. We're going to do 2 more betting tickets here. Let's include the one Randy asked us. Do the Jets beat the Dolphins Monday night? Ugh.
If you're betting on this game, please call the hotline. It's not me joking. Please call the hotline. No, I do.
I'm not putting this on our ticket.
The Jets.
Justin Fields is back.
Justin Fields is back. Think about who the Jets went toe to toe with. The Steelers, and they obviously they lost. But last week too, they gave the Buccaneers everything the Buccaneers could handle, even those beautiful jerseys. I just physically cannot bet on the Miami Dolphins right now. They've done nothing to impress me.
McDaniels is done.
McDaniels is done. Aaron Glenn, it's kind of like what Dan Campbell's did in Detroit, where I think it's going to take a couple of years. But the Jets, I think, finally found the right personnel off the field. Now they just got to put the pieces together on the field and find the guys. Divisional game 2. But yeah, like I say, it's the 7:15 doubleheader, not the 10 o'clock doubleheader. Thank God. But I simply think I like the Jets to win this one. I like the Jets to win. I'm just keeping it simple. But tomorrow night, just sit back, relax, and like I said, you bet on this game. Call the gambling line.
I think we need 2 more bets. I'm taking the Packers straight up over the Cowboys. They're going to be pissed off after the Browns beat them. Cowboys, no CeeDee Lamb. Minus 320. We're adding it to the ticket, man. Give me the Pack on the road. I'm booking that one.
Give me the Cowboys to cover the 6.5 points.
Oh, okay.
I started on my TikTok every week. There's a guy who comes up. I don't know his name. I don't know who he works for, but he's a risk manager for one of the books in Vegas. Last week, he said he needed 3 things to happen for the sports book. All 3 things happened. The amount of tickets and money lines and teasers that are coming in for the Packers would kill the sports book. There's always a couple weeks of the NFL season where the sports books do lose.
Yeah.
But more often than not, the books are always right. And the books said they also said this. They need one of Tennessee, Dallas, or Cincinnati to win outright.
Outright.
I think there's a very outside chance. And my friend I was playing golf with yesterday is a Packers fan. He told me to shut my blank mouth.
Micah Parsons revenge game.
But here's my thing. I don't know if Dallas wins. I think Dallas covers. I think this game is going to be closer than people think. I think the Dallas Cowboys keep it close, kind of like what they did against Philadelphia. But I have a same game parlay for this one.
Okay.
I have a Josh Jacobs, 70 yards rushing. I'd also throw in a touchdown, but it's minus 220. George Pickens over 60.5 yards. CeeDee Lamb's not there.
Yep.
It's him and Ferguson. That's going to be the throwing offense.
Tolbert underneath, yeah.
And a Micah Parsons sack. You can't not take that.
Ooh, boy.
Plus 325.
I don't mind that.
But for this game here, though, I like the Packers to win, but Dallas to cover. Because if Dallas keeps it close and Micah Parsons isn't, just being a dog and effing the play
Micah Parsons was a non-factor last week, Griff. Zero factor.
He was a zero factor last week. Dallas does have a good offensive line, but he's salivating at the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Just wait. He wants to punch four in the face. He wants just to with the sack. It was like Lawrence Taylor said this years ago where he would have killed to have sacked Phil Simms when they were on the Giants, but obviously you can't touch quarterbacks in practice. Micah Parsons finally, hey, Dak's not in a red jersey. Dak is fair game. Boy. Micah Parsons is going to get after him at least once, and also too, but like I said too, there's so much hype around this game to where if Dallas keeps it close, that still fuels the carnival barker who runs AT&T Stadium to say, hey, we're not so bad. We kept it close with Green Bay. You know, we don't miss Micah, even though deep down you do miss Micah.
And they got that. Grant, by the way, saying in the chat, the ball will go to Ferguson more than Pickens. I hope so. I got Ferguson up in my fantasy league for one of those for tight ends. I think
Pickens is going to have a couple explosive plays, though. Sorry to cut you off. I think Pickens is going to have like a couple of couple yak plays, or he's going to get like a 35-yard bomb downfield. That's why I like the 60.5 number.
Yep. Let's wrap it up with Bengals, Broncos. Broncos minus 460. It's not sexy, but that's going to be the end of my 10-leg ticket.
I like the Broncos to win, but I like the Bengals to cover the number. Because think about it from last week.
Browning
because I'll say this too. I'm not a huge believer in Bo Nix. Like, I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's this revelation that everyone's been talking about.
Right.
The Broncos can win the West. Oh, they can do this. Sean Payton knows how to wire his quarterbacks, but there's no way that the Bengals get embarrassed 2 weeks in a row, especially on a national. Because if they get embarrassed 2 weeks in a row, that's where I think you start to get the hot seat underneath. The fire starts going under Zach Taylor just a little bit. But then again, it's like it's more that. But like I said, the only team the Broncos have beaten this year is the Tennessee Titans, and I don't think the Bengals, even for as bad as they looked last week, they're not as bad as the Tennessee Titans.
And the Browning can pop from time. At least he could 2 years ago. That is our ticket 10-leg parlay party plus 17,221. How about it? Woo! Who's in?
Hope and a prayer. Hope and a prayer.
Put a couple bucks on the 10-legger. I like the separate plays on the Cowboys-Packers game that you laid out there, Griff. I do like that. There we go, man. We're out of time, buddy. Tell people where they can watch the show. Hear you, watch it.
Okay, cool. So I got a bunch of stuff going on. I obviously have YWC Football Talk, where we're doing 3 episodes a week right now. On Twitter, Mr. Griff B. It was in my thing, but I didn't think the graphics came up, but it's all good. Twitter and Instagram there. And also to my writings as I cover the wonderful CFL's Toronto Argonauts for a website called 3 Down Nation, where I do my post-game recap articles after every single Toronto Argonauts game. One other thing I want to say, because Rich pointed it out, need Higgins to pop. I think tomorrow night is the game that Higgins could potentially, not pop, but take off, because Jamar Chase versus PS2, that is, I'm going to say this, that is pornography for football fans.
That's a head-to-head you want to see. And maybe you think about Rich also on the chat. Rich, been a while, buddy. Hope you're well. My buddy Rich. Look, it's a chance. And the wild card comes down to, can Jake Browning distribute the football, and can he be smart enough to not challenge, or can they scheme Chase open? Real opportunity for Higgins there. I think there's a good shot. I'm with you, Rich. I think Higgins could have a good game. That'll be very interesting watching that head-to-head. Griff, Randy, great show, guys. Thanks, Randy. Griff, love you, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you too. Hopefully soon. Maybe October 26th.
Oh, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Your boy's coming to Foxborough.
Oh, boy. We'll see where we're at. We'll see who's at quarterback by then.
Yeah.
Could be Dylan Gabriel time. We'll see. All right, pal. Enjoy the games.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Andy.
All right, buddy. There he goes. Griff Bordignon for WYC Football Talk. That's going to be it for us, guys. We got some football to get ready for. We got to get ready for Browns versus Lions. Can the Browns win for only the second time in their history, the first time since 1983? It's going to be tough, but the odds were tough last week, and the Browns do their best work when they are down and considered out. This offense needs to click, has to, must in some way to keep pace. And the Browns running game has to go off with Judkins. I think also pop into Judkins anytime tutty. That guy's money, and he's only getting better with more touches. So big thanks to Griff, to producer Shane, to all of you in the chat. Love you guys in the chat. Make sure you're clicking subscribe, notifications on so you don't miss an episode. Make sure you're tuning in post-game reaction on TikTok and Instagram at AndyMC Sports, on X at SickPodBrowns, at AndyMC81. I'll be on right after the game as well. So we'll have that, and then we'll see you Tuesday. Let's hope this Browns team can do it. Mike says Judkins has a big day. Damn right, Mike. Let's go. Let's get it done. As always, go Browns.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.